anything at all about Mr. Lee before you met him?
I knew he was the drummer for Motley Crue.
Did you find him attractive?
I liked his smile.
First, I'm going to start with Lily and Sebastian sort of asking you the same thing, because you both sort of shocked all of us when we saw those first look photos. So I'm actually going to ask each of you when your co-star shocked you on how much they looked like their real counterpart. And Sebastian, I'll start with you, because I'm sorry, the internet thought that was Pamela Anderson with those photos.
I thought it was Pamela Anderson myself. Listen, without obviously you've seen the show, you know, I don't want to give too much away here, but there's a moment in one of my favorite moments of the entire show. It happens in episode 3. And it's a moment where Lily has this scene that she's, you know, talking to a publicist. But I saw that scene, and to me, I felt, again, it was like the perfect combination of everything you'd want, right? Like for me as a viewer, I think, like, you know, the performance, the writing, what it's saying, what that scene was saying about Pamela, the way Lily performed it, which was, you know, entirely, in my opinion, as close as it could possibly get to her, you know, and it's just this beautiful moment that you really understand. You're hearing about where she's at in her mind, what she's seeking, what she wants for herself. And I just think it's such a beautiful moment, and you deserve everything for it.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and you are 100% correct. Yeah. Lily, I mean, I'm sure you can say the same thing, because it's strange. I've seen a lot of Tommy Lee, and I've seen a lot of Sebastian and other things, but they were indistinguishable moments.
Yeah, I mean,
interview.
Sebastian. No, but you do. He inhabits every fiber of him. It's so like in the moment. It's like so real. So to see him have that quality as an actor, and then like completely be Tommy, his every like the energies of the theater. It was just really. It made me way better just because I could, you know, be with Sebastian being with Tommy.
I love it. And it's such a weird thing for me, because I'm like, wait a minute, that's like the Winter Soldier and the girl from Downton Abbey. Like, this is weird to see you guys just completely transform. But what's great is I think you're bringing a side to these people that people think they know that maybe they don't know, the intimacy of their relationship and what they went through. So I'm just curious, starting with you, Lily, what do you hope people take from Pam and Tommy's relationship, having seen the show?
Well, I hope that they are very surprised potentially, or at least that they learn more about what went on and how that has greatly impacted us, you know, in ways that we couldn't even imagine, and sort of look at, you know, I think this show does ask us some difficult questions, and to look at our own behavior and culpability, and so yeah, I that was what I felt reading the scripts. I really felt this great sense of, oh, wow, this is sort of not what I'd expected. And so I hope that the viewers have a similar experience.
Yeah.
And then Sebastian, yeah, real quick, what about you?
Well, here's what's scary, right? Like, there's a lot of people who had texted me when they read that I was going to be part of it, and they were like, oh yeah, they sold that tape, right? And it's like, no, that's not what happened. You know, and so again, just knowing that a lot of people actually didn't really know the true story of, you know, how it even was taken from them, the actual invasion of privacy. If you know, going to sleep at night and you know, as things are happening, it's just unfathomable to sort of think about. But again, I think just telling the story from the facts point of view is important enough.
Yeah, because it was like coinciding with the birth of the internet. It's like mind-blowing. You'd be reading it and you're like, what? It was such an unprecedented situation.
And you're forgetting that she's becoming a mom, and she's pregnant, and she's trying to build a family, and she's trying to deal with what that is, you know, and you're dealing with, that's what you're waking up and you're looking at, you know. It's just, I don't feel like we've really thought about that very much.
Yeah.
Everyone wants me beautiful and perfect.
Is that how you feel? Like you have to please people?
That's all I do.
The first thing I really have to ask about this one is what was your first sort of, I would say, exposure to this story, like, and coming back to it? And then what was it like sort of diving into it from this new sort of perspective?
I didn't have very much experience with it when it came out. It's like, it is not, I didn't register. I was too young. I don't remember it. But what I do remember, which is maybe even more messed up, is that in my mind, it was like this like tape was always just like vaguely associated with Pam Anderson, as if she had something to do with it, as if it was a choice or a part of, she wanted this to be a part of her narrative. Yeah, so that's kind of, and to learn what was really going on when I started working on this show was really infuriating, very humbling. Again, like how much like cultural mythology that we just kind of take for granted. And certainly the dialogue around this whole situation needs to be updated. So I look for, like so many things do, and it seems like right on time as we're updating so many systems, or at least the conversation is changing. The conversation around this can shift.
I think there's going to be a lot of justice for Pam type trends after folks get to see this series.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing?
I think it's in the sort of offing. But then your character, Erica, it's interesting. Like she's a different player in this one. And I think people can look at her character and maybe think they know who she is and how she plays. But what was surprising to you about her as a character, and maybe how you tried to not judge her in this sort of story?
I mean, I thought she was amazing. And I thought she was so vital to this story also. She's in charge of her choices. That's what I love about Erica. I mean, take it or leave it. It doesn't really matter like what her choices are, but she's in charge of them and she's happy with them, which I love. I appreciate that in her. And she also is a sex worker. And so for her, and she has complete agency over whatever the hell she's doing. And I feel like that is a counterpoint to how Pam is being so wildly exploited is necessary in the show. If we didn't have a woman who was saying, no, this is what that's not porn. That's what you did to her is a violent crime. That it's a violent crime that this is out in the world without consent. What I do is there's consent. It's not a violent crime, but do not call it porn. It's not, it's criminal. Like if you need Erica to have that perspective in the show.
I just have to give you to talk just real quick about Seth Rogen, because you spend a lot of your time with him. And so just talking about him in this role, because I think for some people, they're going to see it as a different look for him.
I hope they do. I mean, he's magnificent. I think he's so vulnerable and smart, and just like, he's a good actor. He's so good. And he was just so generous and wonderful. And I loved working with him. I think we had a really, really good time. Fun.